Hi everybody, I'm Esther. I'm so excited to be teaching you the present continuous tense in this video. This tense is used to describe an action that's happening right now, a longer action in progress, and something happening in the near future. There's a lot to learn, but don't worry, I'll guide you through it. Let's get started. The present continuous tense is used to talk about actions that are happening right now. For example, I'm teaching English, and you are studying English. Let's take a look at some more examples. The first sentence says, he is watching a movie. We start with the subject and a be verb. In this case, the subject is he. For he, she, and it, we use the be verb is. Then you'll notice I added an ing to the end of the verb watch. He is watching a movie. The next sentence says, Tim is playing a computer game. He's doing that right now. Tim is a he. Therefore, again, we use the be verb is. And again, you'll notice I added ing to the end of the verb. The next sentence says, the machine is making a noise. Now pay attention to the subject, the machine. What is the proper pronoun? The answer is it. Therefore, we use the be verb is. The machine is making a noise. We can also say it is making a noise or the contraction it's making a noise. And finally, Tom and Ben are speaking English. In this case, you'll notice that we use the be verb are. Can you figure out why? That's because Tom and Ben, the subject pronoun for these two is they. They are speaking English. Let's move on to the next usage. The present continuous tense is also used to describe a longer action in progress, even though you might not be doing the action right now. Let's take a look at some examples. The first sentence says, I'm reading an interesting book these days. In this case, the subject is I, so the be verb is am. In this example, we use the contraction I'm by putting I and am together. Again, you'll notice there's an ing after the verb. The next sentence says, you are studying to become an English teacher. The subject here is you, therefore the be verb is are. Next, Stephen is preparing for the IELTS exam. The subject here is Stephen, which is a he. Therefore, we use the be verb is. And finally, John and June are working at a company. If you look at the subject John and June, the pronoun for that is they. That's why we use the be verb are. They are working at a company. Let's move on to the next usage. The present continuous is also used to talk about near future plans. Let's take a look. She is meeting some friends tonight. That's going to happen in the near future. You'll notice that we have she, so the be verb is, and then we added an ing to the end of the verb meet. The next example says, we are going on vacation in July. The subject here is we, therefore we use the be verb are. We can also use a contraction and say, we're going on vacation in July. Again, another near future plan. The next example says, David is learning to drive tomorrow. Tomorrow is the near future. David is the subject. David is a he, so we use is. And lastly, Vicky and I are teaching English next week. Vicky and I, if we think about the subject pronoun, is we. That's why we used are. We are teaching. Let's move on. Now, let's talk about the negative form of the present continuous tense. I have some examples here. These two examples are for actions that are happening right now or longer actions. These last two are for near future plans. Let's take a look. The first sentence says, I am not having fun. Now, that's not true for me because I am having fun, but in this example, I am not having fun. You'll notice that the word not goes between the be verb and the verb ing. In the second example, it says Jane isn't doing her homework. Here, we use the contraction isn't for is not. So just like the first sentence, we put not between is and verb ing. The next sentence says, you're not seeing him tonight. Here, we have a contraction for you are. You're not seeing him tonight. And finally, we are not running tomorrow morning. Here we have the subject we, therefore we use the be verb are. Don't forget to add a not after that to make it negative. Let's move on. Now, let's talk about how to form be verb questions in the present continuous tense. The first example here says, is he waiting for you? Or is he waiting for you? We start with the be verb. Take a look at the subject though. The subject is he, and that's why we start with the be verb is. Is he waiting for you? You can answer, yes, he is, or no, he isn't. The second sentence says, are you coming to class? The subject here is you, and that's why we start with are. Are you coming to class? You can answer, yes, I am, or no, I'm not. The next question says, is he preparing to study in Canada? The subject is he, and so we start with is. The answer can be, yes, he is, or it can also be, no, he isn't. Finally, the last question says, are they going out tonight? The subject here is they, and so we start with are. The answer can be, yes, they are, or no, they aren't. Let's move on. Now, let's talk about the WH question form for the present continuous tense. I have some examples here, and you'll notice that we start with the WH questions. What, where, when, who, why, and how. What comes after? You'll notice it's the be verbs. Are, is, and if the subject is I, am. So, after that, you have the subject and then the verb ing. Let's take a look at the first sentence. What are you doing? I'm asking about right now. For example, I'm teaching English. Where are you going? I'm going to the store. When is it starting? It's starting at 3. I can be talking about a movie, a show, anything can be it. Who is she talking to? She's talking to Bob. Why is she crying? She's crying because she's sad. And finally, how is it going? It's going well. For this checkup of the present continuous tense, we'll look at how this tense can be used to describe an action that's happening right now. Let's take a look at the first sentence. You blank learning English. Remember, for this tense, we start with the subject and the be verb, and then the verb ing. We already have the verb ing here, so we need the be verb. The subject in the first sentence is you. For you, we, and they, we use the be verb are. So the correct answer is, you are learning English right now. The next sentence says, she blank not watching TV. This is the negative form of the present continuous tense. We have the word not before the verb ing. However, we're missing the be verb again. What is the be verb to use if the subject is she? The correct answer is. She is not watching TV. This one says, I blank studying now. The subject here is I. Again, think of the be verb that goes for the subject I. The be verb is am. I am studying now. We can also use a contraction and say, I'm studying now. If we wanted to turn this into the negative form, we can also say, I'm not studying now. Now, take a look at the next sentence and find the mistake. Layla is watch a movie. Here we have the subject, and the subject pronoun for Layla would be she. We have the correct be verb, is. However, you'll notice we forgot the ing at the end of the verb. We need to say watching. Layla is watching a movie. The next sentence says they playing soccer now. What's missing? If you got it, the correct answer is we need the be verb are because the subject is they. They are playing soccer now. And finally, what do you do? If you want to ask somebody what they're doing right now, you say what, and the be verb are you doing. What are you doing? Let's move on to the next practice. For this checkup, we'll talk about the present continuous tense and how it can be used to describe an action that started in the past and continues today. It's a longer action. Let's take a look at the first sentence. He blank studying economics. Remember, for this tense, we take the subject, a be verb, and then verb ing. Here, we already have the verb ing, studying. So, what are we missing? The be verb. The correct be verb for the subject he is. So, he is studying economics. The next sentence says they're blank for the fight. The verb we want to use is train. Now, we already have the be verb here. It's in the contraction there because it's they are. All we have to do now is add ing to the verb. They're training for the fight these days. And we blank teaching at the school. Again, we're missing the be verb. What is the be verb for we? The correct answer is are. We are teaching at the school. Now, let's look for the mistakes in the next sentence. Ben is studying to become a doctor. Can you find the error? Well, we have the subject and we have the proper be verb. What we're missing is the ing at the end of study. The correct answer is Ben is studying to become a doctor. Let's look at the next sentence. I don't reading that book. I don't reading that book? To form the negative in the present continuous, we don't use do or does. We use the be verb. What is the be verb for I? The correct answer is am. I am not reading that book. There is no contraction for am not. Finally, they are to learn English. We have the subject and we have the correct be verb. But remember, we need verb ing. Therefore, the correct answer is they are learning English. Let's move on to the next checkup. For this checkup, we'll take a look at how the present continuous tense can be used to talk about future plans. Let's take a look. The first sentence says, they're play a game tonight. The verb we want to use is play. Remember, we start with the subject, and here we have it, they. Then we have the be verb. In this case, we used a contraction for they are, there. That's correct. After that, we have to add ing to the end of the verb. So the correct answer is, they're playing a game tonight. The next sentence says, we blank not studying tomorrow. Looks good, but there's a word that's missing. This is the negative form because we have not. We simply need the be verb for we. The correct be verb is are. We are not studying tomorrow. The next sentence says Lynn is blank out tonight, and we want to use the verb go. Remember, Lynn and then the be verb is, that's correct. All we have to do is add ing, going. Lynn is going out tonight. To make this negative, you can say Lynn is not going out tonight or Lynn isn't going out tonight. The next sentence says, Laura isn't study this evening. Can you find the mistake? Remember, we have to add ing to the end of the verb. So we need to say, Laura isn't studying this evening. The next sentence says, my sons will playing chess later. We are talking about a future plan, so you might be tempted to use will. However, instead of saying will, we use the be verb. My sons are playing chess later. And finally, she's not to eating dinner tonight. There's an extra word in here that we don't need. What is it? It's to. Remember, subject, be verb, not, verb, ing. We do not need to in this sentence. All right, well, that's the end of this checkup. Let's move on. Good job, everyone. You just completed the lesson on the present continuous tense. This tense is not easy, but you did a great job and keep watching to learn more. I know English can be difficult, but with practice and effort, you will improve, I promise. See you in the next video.